Horsepower, as we all know, is a measure of how powerful an engine is. It was, of course, derived from horses, thanks Noah. The only problem with horsepower is that most horses have 15 horsepowers. So let's take it back to the beginning. It's the 18th century and James Watt is talking a lot of hot air. And by hot air, I mean steam. And by steam, I mean steam engines. Because James Watt was busy inventing steam engines and steam engineering. He was a fantastic Scottish engineer. Now, what happened was that he needed a way to compare these brand spanking new steam engines to the traditional draft horses. So he did a bunch of calculations, took a bunch of measurements, and came up with the horsepower. But in 1993, two scientists published a new article in the journal Nature in which they had done new research into the maximum output of horses. And what they found is that the average horse can output 15 horsepower for a few seconds. Now that may seem like a cop-out, but what they also found is that horses can output 1.2 horsepower basically all day. So what that means is that you've got your beautiful 1500 horsepower Bugatti Chiron. Well, actually it's a 1250 horsepower. Today's episode of Tidbits was written by me, Nathan Chapman. Our camera person was Emily Sable-Smith. I'd like to put out a huge thanks to Tegan Chapman, my little sister, and Harrington Park for having us here today, as well as Relativity Studios for some production assistance. And now for our final tidbit. Between 2000 and 2006, in Australia, the most deadly animal, that is the animal that killed the most number of humans during that time, were horses. They beat out sharks, crocodiles, alligators, snakes, spiders, dogs, and the common cat to be the most deadly animal in Australia.